So, hey, Patty, how are you? Have a seat right over here. We'll bring you in a few minutes. Look at her. All right, guys. Jason Zaleski here, Zaleski Sports Show. We continue on our fun day. Boy, it's been a fun day.
Fun day.
It's went by just like this. It's been pretty crazy. So we've seen 2 football games. We're starting our 3rd right now. We'll get back to who's playing here in just a second. First, we'll tell you that we are at Nuts Deep here in Marshfield, 801 South Central Avenue, home to some of the best burgers that you can ever want to have.
Absolutely.
Voted best in Marshfield and all kinds of stuff, including burgers, cheese curds, 2017 Small Business of the Year. It all happens right here at Nuts Deep, and it's happening right now as we're watching football. We're watching Mr. Gladowski do what he's been doing all year, which
Nasonville Dairy cheese curds, by the way.
Nasonville Dairy, thank you to the Hymans and their support of Zaleski Sports Show. They support our live streaming, our tri-media efforts, and they make a lot of the local sports possible.
They do.
It is really the honest truth of it. And same here at Nuts Deep. So joined by Rich Hall is my friend Daryl over there. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good, thank you. Good.
Oh, today.
You want to be on TV? Huh?
No, probably not. You know, if you want it by the law, you really shouldn't do
Well then, yes, keep
enough.
walking then.
Fair enough.
that.
Because we don't need that kind of static either. So.
No. But thanks anyway.
Good.
No, well, actually, I kind of would love to be, but
A friend of the show, Daryl Belkey, stopping by to say hi and bye.
friend of the family.
Friend of the family too, for sure. Yeah.
All right.
So we're here. I mentioned with Rich Hall, and Rich is our resident official today. We've had 2 solidly called games
Yes,
from the officials
very
officiating aspect of it. One of the things that a lot of officials will tell you is they don't want to be a part of the game, and they haven't been to this point. So all good news there. And really, the 4 teams we've seen play been all shown good sportsmanship. It's been 4 good teams, so you can tell why they're here at this championship level down at Camp Randall in Madison. Division 5 is just underway. Been underway now for about 2 minutes, and it's Amherst against Lake Country Lutheran, the Falcons versus the Lightning. And Amherst is out like lightning, a lightning bolt across the field right now. They're in the red zone down to the 14-yard line.
They're marching right along.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll carry you through this whole game. We've got some cool stuff coming up, though, during this game, one of which is our show host, Rachel, will be here a little later, and she'll chat with Rich.
That would be the better half.
I would say the much better half. This quality of production will go up about 3 times when she shows up here.
It's true.
It's true. And she's got all kinds of questions for you, all
Awesome.
ramped up to go. She's really interested in the officiating aspect of things, and that's good.
Okay.
That's nothing wrong with that.
Patty, you ready?
Yeah. Excellent. Rich is tapping out.
Okay.
Going to have Patty Arnold join us here. PJ,
PJs.
right?
Patty and Jubal.
Okay.
That's PJs.
I just like calling you PJ.
All right, that works.
All right. No, so Patty Arnold joins us. Patty, thanks for being here. Patty had a very long walk to get here, as she's located 1 door to the south of Nuts Deep here. Good neighbors, though, to have, Nuts Deep
Oh, yes,
and
for sure.
PJ's Tropical Paradise. We'll talk about PJ's Tropical Paradise here as we kind of go. I promise Patty that the 30 minutes of guest hosting is going to go by in a flash, and it will. I started at around 10 to 10, and I can't believe it's already past 4 o'clock. So.
Oh, that's a long day.
Well, it's been a fun day, though. It hasn't seemed long, that's for sure. And something else that doesn't much surprise anybody is Marcus Gladowski in for an Amherst touchdown. So I don't know how much football you watched this year, Patty. It's okay if you say none.
Oh, no,
but I bet you've
I
watched.
watched, yep.
I bet you have. Amherst is kind of a football machine, as it turns out. They've been to the Final Four. They've been the Final Four team participant in the last 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and this is the 4th. There's Coach Lusich there on TV as their head coach. They've been to the state championship game now 4 years in a row.
Wow.
So pretty outstanding.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. They've got kind of a tradition now started there, and a tradition of champions as the extra point is up and through. Got to wait for the official. Well, the camera angle's a little strange, and the dusk now coming. It's a bit hard to track the ball in the air as it's on the screen, but. Patty, you or I could have ran in that touchdown. That was pretty easy.
Yeah, I think so.
What he just
I
did
don't know.
there was pretty darn simple. But we'll see, though. We'll see what Lake Country Lutheran has to offer. They're undefeated this year, 13-0. So that's
Wow.
pretty good.
Good.
Yeah, Amherst is 12-1. The team that beat them, they just won the Division 6 championship just moments before this one started. So the only team that beat them are state champions. So that's an okay defeat, I think, if you get beat by a team that's a
Yeah,
champion.
yeah, I think you're good there.
I love it. I love it. All right, so well, we've got some pretty cool things going on today here in Marshfield. Besides all this going on, which has been a lot of fun. Again, thanks for being here.
Sure.
We've got the holiday parade. I like to call it the Christmas parade. It's just me. I don't know.
I'm good with that. Christmas parade.
I'm a traditionalist, I guess. I don't know. I don't get all the new wave holiday talk, but Christmas parade's going on. That starts at 6:30, so a little over 2 hours from now.
Yep.
Now you walked over here, right? I mean,
Yeah, I just came
Probably.
right through my back door into this back door.
are there any lawn chairs on the sidewalks? You see anybody already kind of stake out their area?
I don't see any yet, but I'm
Okay.
sure they'll start probably within the next 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's always been interesting to me. You know, especially Dairy Fest. It's on a Saturday, the parade. It's warmer, right? And this is a weekday, and it's a little chillier, I guess. But you can, whenever the Dairy Fest parade starts, maybe 11, I would say, probably something like that. I mean, there are chairs at 6, 7 in the morning,
Yeah.
stacked up on Central Avenue.
Yep.
So that's why I asked about the chairs and what you might see out there.
People start getting parked on the side of the road,
Yeah.
so they sit and warm up in their car, get out eventually when the parade starts. But
It won't be too much warming today. I was actually looking at that, 34 degrees.
yeah, so it's
That's
not
not bad. I mean,
no, the last 2 years have been cold for the parade. This
I
year's not bad at
remember.
all.
I remember a lot of them. And actually, I was talking to somebody else about parades a little bit earlier. And see, we don't always have to talk about sports in this whole thing, right? I talk about all kinds of stuff, but parades. I was a kid, and I can remember going to the Abbotsford parade. That was like the big parade when I was a kid. I don't know how long you lived in the area, but so this was in the early '80s, and Abbotsford was the place to be. Back
Oh,
then.
really?
Oh yeah, and they still do their Christmas parade up in Abbotsford. It's a big deal, but I think this one's kind of become a bigger deal. I found out earlier from our Mackey director Scott Larson that this is the 12th year for this
Oh, wow.
Christmas parade. So again, that Abbotsford parade that I remember was maybe 1980, so that was 37 years ago.
A little bit of time has passed.
A little bit of time has passed, but it was a lot of fun. But it was always so cold during that one. I think that one happens a little later, but I can remember even as a kid. I don't remember much, right? After, like, prior to year 10 or so. I don't remember everything, hardly anything. But I can remember being frozen in Abbotsford. We'd go up to that parade. So that will not be the case tonight. So so come out to the parade, check it out. There's all kinds of fun stuff going on. All the downtown businesses, or most of them, are doing some fun stuff, including you. So just tell everybody what you're doing during the parade and how you're going to make things fun.
PJ's Tropical will have some hot chocolate for the kids to come in and drink and warm up. And we're going to have some hot cider, spiced apple wine for the adults if they'd like to purchase a glass to warm up and come in. And while they can actually watch the parade out the front window if they're too cold or whatever they want to do.
Yeah, well, that sounds pretty cool, and I mean, it's going to come right past your storefront. I mean,
Yes.
it starts
Yep.
at 2nd Street, goes all the way down to 14th Street, and you're right smack dab in the middle of all of that. So to sit in front of PJ's would be a perfect place to
Yes, yeah,
to
yeah. We
watch.
get to see it all.
be. Yeah, all right, well, good. Well, I think everybody will, and whether they know it or not, they're going to sit there. So we take a look here at the game. We're 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Amherst, not surprisingly, up 7-0 over Lake County Lutheran. I think, and I've been saying this all day and really my whole life, I don't predict high school sports, but I don't know many people outside of 100 miles of Amherst that don't think Amherst is going to win. So that's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. But, high school athletics are a little different. You know, I mean, I was a high school athlete, and I wasn't really affected by it, but I knew people that were. You broke up with your girlfriend the night before, you failed a test or something. You get all these other things going on in your life, and you're 16.
Right.
And I don't know many 16-year-olds that are very consistent with anything.
No.
I have one that just turned 18, and he still won't take out the trash. He always forgets to take out the trash on Thursday night. So.
Yeah, that won't change.
Oh, I know. It's been a never-ending battle getting him to remember stuff. He remembers to pick his girlfriend up though, so that part he's got down.
Of course.
Yeah, wherever they go, he's on time for that usually. So Lake County Lutheran moving the ball a little bit. So they're doing some stuff here. And I might have to call our resident official in here. Today's white hat looks familiar to me. Maybe I've seen him around. I don't know. Talking though about officiating, these crews that make it to this level, they get graded, so they earn this trip, so they have to be of a elite level of officiating. So some of them I've probably seen in other games. So this one looks pretty familiar to me. So just kind of point that out. So let's
I'm
talk
looking
about.
for the white hat.
Okay, well we'll look here. He'll be with the white team at this point anyway. Rich, if the white hat that I'm seeing here, if he was at level 4, could he have been assigned to this championship game? He could have been. Well, that could be him then. Okay. Well.
We did the point games from East the following game.
You've seen him here? Okay. That might be. Do you think he does WEAC games too?
Yes, he does.
I'm sure that's him then. Anyway, he's always been nice to me. So let's talk about PJ's Tropical Paradise. Started this year, right?
Yes.
When did you open?
June 1st. June 1st.
June 1st? Okay. All right, good. Well, congratulations on that. It's you own other businesses though, so you're not new to business ownership, but still, it's an undertaking.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Just gonna go on. We need to get the word out there, let people know we're here. They can't find us. We're next to Nuts Deep. We're attached.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's a good neighbor to be.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's him. That's that guy there. A good neighbor to have. You know, I think you're in a good spot. Plenty of foot traffic and other traffic as far as that's concerned. You know, so we're happy to have you here. You know, you've sponsored on the show, so we're happy to give back and let you come in here and talk a little bit about it. So maybe a couple wines right now that are good, or some favorites that you want to recommend.
Well, my favorite is the White Gold Peach. It's nice, sweet, and smooth. All of them are fruit wines. I am looking at bringing some local wines in as well. Most of mine are out of St. Petersburg, Florida. I do have several different select craft beers as well. So, and we did recently get our Class B license, so people can actually come in and sit down and have a beer or a glass of wine. So
Nice.
that worked well.
Nice. Well, let's talk about that, 'cause that's new. When did
Yes.
that must have been just in the last month or so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get everything prepared for that, get some seating areas in there.
Okay. So even tonight could so I'm done with the parade, or my kids are good, they're on their own, I'm going to stop in for a little bit. Can we open a bottle of wine in there today
Yes.
and drink it?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's let's just call that breaking news here on the Zaleski Sports Show. But that's good. That's a good thing. You know, certainly. You know, I can go to certain restaurants or whatever and get a bottle of wine, and that may be all well and good. But you know, you'll allow me to sample that wine first, and then I can make my purchase after that too.
Exactly. So you know that you like what you're getting.
Right. Yeah.
And there's two free samples per person per day. So, and then we do have a sample pack. If you wanted to buy more samples, you could get 3 more samples or 2 more samples for $3.
Yeah. Okay.
3 for 2. 3 samples for $2.
3 samples, $2, and that's a bargain in and of itself in that way too. And then, right, so I find the one that I like, buy that one, probably even buy just another one just because you recommended it, something like that, and then I'm set to go at least for the night anyway.
I would say.
Yeah, I would say.
You can try to drink them both. You don't have to.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. But just have that variety, and And then you have other things though besides wine inside the store, right? You've got some mixed.
We have over 50 different craft beers.
50, okay.
So, and you can get, you can mix your six-packs, so you can pick different ones and mix them up, so you don't have to have all one six-pack if you don't know, if you haven't tried it before. You can put 6 different beers in there, just kind of like the other stores do, and then try them out.
Yeah, and that's always been something I've kind of shied away from. As my wife will go to a wine tasting or go out to it like that, and says to me, "Well, you should come with me." And I'll admit, I'm not really into wine, but you've got the beer there. I'll come down for
Right.
the beer for sure. So, and I think that's something to know. So head down with your wife or even your guys that you know that prefer wine, and you can still get the beer. And still do your thing, and with over 50 to choose from, you should be able to find a few that are even new to you.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm always trying to bring in the newer ones, the ones that are hard to get, the seasonals that are out. We do have a couple Oktoberfest left, and then the Three Floyds has a new, no, Carbon 4 has a new seasonal out. I had somebody buy the whole case of it on me. I had a case with 4 6-packs, and the same guy bought all 4 of them.
Yeah.
So, but I got more in.
Yeah.
So.
Excellent. All right. Let's see. I'll take a look here up at the game. So Amherst back with the ball. Lake County Lutheran did punt. So we're nearing the 4-minute mark here in the first quarter. And Marcus Glodowski. So that's it's a name to know. If you don't know it, you know it now. He is just some kind of player. And right here we see what he can do. He's able to get low, and that he's got a fairly sizable offensive line. Not the tallest line you'll ever see, but he gets low. That hides him from the defense a little bit, and then the zone blocking that his offensive line does lets him pick from multiple places, multiple lanes or holes to run through, and tough to stop. Really tough to stop him. We're looking for. Keep an eye out for 35, Bryce Holderman, and I don't think he's going to be in the game. Last week, the 4th touchdown that was scored, Amherst scored 5 times last week. The 4th touchdown that they scored was actually a fumble that was in the end zone. Bryce Holderman, who's been the running back throughout the year, is running full speed into the end zone. Grantsburg defender running full speed at him, and they came head to head, and both laid there for quite a bit. Both did walk off the field. But he fumbled. His teammate got it and scored, and fortunate for them. But I would say just a week after something like that, you probably shouldn't play.
Yeah, probably sitting out.
So it looks like he's out, but Amherst has plenty of weapons, and I would expect them to be a real handful here for Lake County Lutheran. So again, you're watching Zaleski Sports Show. We are at Nuts Deep here in Marshfields, 801 South Central Avenue in Marshfield. Home to some good burgers. Yeah, I've had those before.
Some of the best food in town.
Yeah, and voted best of in an official way a number of times. As I mentioned at the start, 2017 Small Business of the Year. They do a lot of good things here. A lot of good places in Marshfield to eat, so we've got that going for us. A lot of places to choose from. A lot of good places to watch sports. This happens to be one that the food is great, the sports are good, and you can just kind of have a good time, and you can be right next door to PJ's Tropical Paradise all at the same time.
There you go.
There you go. That's absolutely
It's a good
right.
place to be.
Well, I think so. It's good of them to have us here. Ann Deringer, I'm sure you know Ann.
Yes.
Was pretty excited when I told her this was the spot we were going to pick, and she couldn't wait to have us here. So we're happy that they helped to choose us for this event. It's been a lot of fun so far. So I'll recap a little bit. So we started with Division 7. That started at 10 o'clock this morning. These kids had to get up early to play football at 10 a.m. They were driving from a ways, so I would say they probably got to spend the night in a hotel last night.
Where are they all playing at?
So this is all happening at Camp Randall in Madison at the University of Wisconsin. Yep, it's all happening there. So they all travel in from wherever they're from. Bangor probably had a hour-and-a-half drive. Blackhawk maybe had a 45-minute drive. But for the event and the excitement of it, to give the kids an experience, get them down there, get them in a hotel the night before. Hopefully they don't stay up too late, especially if you play at 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
But Bangor won the Division 7 state championship earlier today. They defeated Blackhawk. And then Division 6 just wrapped up about an hour ago, where we saw St. Mary Springs defeat Iola Scandinavia. So they are the Division 6. St. Mary Springs is Division 6 championships. Iola Scandinavia, I think if you stood on top of a second-story house, you could probably see Amherst from there. They're just right down the street from each other. Yeah, so pretty cool that neighboring communities are both playing in their respective divisions in the state championship. And that brings us to Amherst. I know this has been a anticipated game throughout the day. In the playoffs, Amherst beat Stratford, and they beat Spencer Columbus. So they beat two local teams. So people around here are pretty familiar with Amherst, or at least familiar in the way that they were able to beat their favorite team and, and get there. But that's what sports is all about, Patty. Somebody wins, somebody loses. It all gets settled on the field, though.
In the end.
In the end, it all gets settled on the field. That's why I like these sports a little bit more than, say, figure skating. And I'm sure a lot of figure skating fans out there, but you judge a figure skater, right?
Right.
They don't, unless you're Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan, they don't battle it out. But here, everything gets decided, and we can see it with our own eyes who scored and who didn't.
Right.
I don't know the last time you might have watched figure skating, but I don't know. Yeah, they say that they had a 6.8. Well, I don't even know what that means. How do they get that? I don't know.
Depends on how clean their jumps are, how good their spins are, how...
It sounds like you know, though. Keep going.
I used to watch it. I don't know. It's been a long time. Yeah.
I watch it every 4 years during the Olympics. Then I'll watch the figure skating, and if it's an American especially, then I'll watch. Otherwise, if it was a Czechoslovakian and a Australian, I probably wouldn't watch. That wouldn't do it for me.
No. Last time we watched, we were in Key West. It was a rainy day.
Really? Yeah. Okay. How long ago was that?
3 years ago.
Well, that's pretty cool. I will be in Key West on Sunday.
Oh, really?
So there you have it, huh?
Fun.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. They a little bit difficult finding a place to stay. They had Hurricane Irma that strolled through there in September. So a lot of places are not quite ready yet. Yeah. Well, as far as some of those homes and condos are situated right there, they had too much damage to be ready 2 months later. But we'll stay in Key Largo. So, but we'll still get all the. I talked to people that were there, all the business tourist type places. They opened up right away. It's just finding a condo or a house to rent for the week was a little bit strange. A little bit strange. I've never been through a hurricane, and I told a couple of them that I've been through blizzards before, and I don't know. We pick up the pieces, and everybody's back to work the next day.
Yeah, I think there's a little difference between a blizzard and a hurricane.
Well, there must be, and I'll tell you, there's a difference between Wisconsin and island life too. I think that's a little bit more relaxed and laid back and slow going. We're a little hardier and a little more able to work.
A little more rambunctious.
Rambunctious. It's a good way to put it, Patty. A good way to put it. Well, speaking of being rambunctious and getting things figured out, it's the end of the first quarter, so we're a quarter of the way through our Division 5 championship game, and score 7-0, Amherst winning. Yay. Yeah. I like it. See, a Falcon fan already. She just got here.
There you go. Yeah.
Just got here. She's a Falcon fan already. So, well, like I said, I mentioned they play at where the University of Wisconsin plays, which for me as a kid, that would have been pretty cool. Both of my varsity years playing football, we won one game each year. So I had no way of even getting close. The only way I got to Camp Randall was to buy a ticket to see the Badgers. That was all that was going to happen for me there. But for these kids, certainly something pretty special. You watch the Badgers on TV on Saturdays, and then all of a sudden you've earned your way and you're standing there on the same field, walking through the same tunnels and seeing the same scenery that you see on TV. And
yeah, that's got to be a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah.
For the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. The best, or the most recent story I can relate to is, so I covered volleyball. Stratford volleyball went to state this year. They played their state championship took place in Green Bay at the Resch Center, so right across from Lambeau. And Stratford had a great year. Had a lot of fun following them. They lost the semifinal game that day, and I had the privilege of being there and being in the press room, got to be one of those guys that ask questions afterwards and all that kind of stuff. And what amazed me is how much of an honor it was, even for the teams that lost, to come into that press room and be asked those questions, right? They get to sit at the table and had the backdrop behind them and the microphones and the lights. And at that point, they forgot they even lost the game. They were just, they were just, I don't know, just in awe over the fact that they got to be in this setting. And this probably happens here too. I'm sure it does.
Oh, I'm sure. First time having to deal with it and see the things. And
So Amherst in scoring position here. Let's see, I like the lightning bolts. You see that, Pat? Lightning bolts on their helmets. That's pretty cool.
oh yeah,
I guess if your nickname is the Lightning, you got to have that on there somewhere. And I found that out
so
back
they
at
are the Lightnings.
the Lightning. Yeah. I found that out a couple weeks ago up in Green Bay at the volleyball state championships. Lake County Lutheran was in that as well, their girls volleyball team, and I found out they were the Lightning then. So it was kind of fun. And then coincidentally, here they are a couple weeks later.
In football.
In football, yeah. So quite a school they have to go to there,
Must have a good sports program.
I would say. We're just a whole family of brothers and sisters that just go nuts.
Right? 3 families are the team.
All right. Well, Amherst backed up on a 3rd and 15. They do have a good field goal kicker. Kyle Zaleski is, in high school sports especially, you don't kicking is something that's not always guaranteed. I guess is the best way I can say it.
Right.
Oh, that was something. Well, that could have been something. So we'll see what they do here. They have 4th down, but their kickers he made a lot of kicks this year, a lot of field goals. He's a pretty good kicker. And there's a lot of jokes always made about kickers in football and all that kind of thing. There was a movie a couple 20 years ago, Ace Ventura. You remember?
Yes.
You remember Ace Ventura? And one of the points of the movie is that this dolphin was stolen, right? The Miami
Yeah.
Dolphin? Okay. Let's see what Amherst does here in 4th down first before I get into stories about dolphins. So interception in the end zone, which will actually lose Lake Country Lutheran about 6 yards as a net result to the whole thing. But he gets an interception on the stat line, and he got to catch the ball in a state championship game. So nothing wrong with all that.
Nope.
Well, anyway, so kickers are made fun of a lot, and you feel bad for them sometimes. But and this movie, I guess it's the kicker who was kind of I don't know, he missed a big kick, and then all of a sudden he kind of deranged him, and
He lost it.
he lost it. There you go. Stole the dolphin. That's what happens, right? Kicker is bad news, and you steal the dolphin.
Yeah.
At least I think that's what happened. I don't know.
He was trying to kill somebody too, or something.
Something.
The other quarterback.
But Ace Ventura came and saved the world. So. Or at least the dolphin.
The dolphin and the world.
So Lake Country then with the ball. And like I said, so Amherst threw the interception from around the 26-yard line. And you intercept in the end zone, you get the ball then on the 20. So they lost 6 yards on that whole transaction. And now they had a false start, so now they lost 5 more. So a team against Amherst, you certainly take the interception, but you can't afford to have penalties. Amherst is just too good. So anytime you get a penalty like that, you put yourself at a disadvantage against a really good football team. So we'll see what they do here. We were talking about the parade a little bit earlier, Patty. Are you going to be able to watch the parade from your window, or what are your plans?
Yeah, I'll be in the shop watching the parade as well and serving the spiced apple pie wine and hot chocolate.
Okay, all right. And other than talking about it here, how else will people know about the hot chocolate? Do you have any?
I believe Main Street Marshfield put it out there.
That's right. I knew there was something else.
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. And I'll keep blabbing about it all night too. So we'll help you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, we will help you. All right. Well, so yeah, they didn't do much on 1st down now. Oh boy. Yeah, sometimes you just can't just can't get it organized right here. And now they've Lake Country Lutheran called a timeout, so they're going to take a timeout on TV. And that'll remind me to tell everybody again, we're here at Nuts Deep. We're visiting with Patty Arnold from PJ's Tropical Paradise. Nuts Deep, home to a lot of good things, burgers. I had a wrap for lunch. It was a chicken. Well, here, I'll tell you.
The mango chicken salsa wrap is delicious.
That's what.
Is that
No,
what you had?
Southwest smoked chicken wrap. But
there you go.
the mango chicken salsa wrap, I thought the wraps were good. I've had a lot of burgers lately, and so I wanted to mix it up a little bit with some chicken. But I've had the burgers here too, and they do one with blue cheese and grilled onions, I think, or maybe they just do it for me. I don't know.
I think they have like
A Blue Moon burger.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go. Yeah, with onions and blue cheese. Anyway, I mean, a full menu, everything you could ever want. The appetizers, again, cheese curds, voted best in Marshfield. Of course, the cheese curds come from Nasonville, so when you mix Nasonville with Nuts Deep, you're going to get some of the best things made in the world. And full menu, soup and salad. We mentioned the wraps, the sandwich, and pizza.
How many tap beers do they have?
Well, we're kind of covering up the sign here. 400, right? Oh, all
They
right,
have
20.
400 taps, yeah. They have
All
400
right,
taps
that's kind of a
in-house.
joke. Yeah, how could they have 400? I thought maybe a bottle beer. Anyway, how many selections of beer?
How many taps do you have, Chris?
20.
20.
Okay, so 20 taps. Yeah, so lots to choose from there. Soda. Soda. We had I guess you call it an after-work party here last night. A couple kids came out, so we had chocolate milk, regular milk. I mean, so bring the whole family down. Especially before the parade here, as you get ready to head out of work, bring the whole family down. We've got your water right there for you, Patty. Bring the whole family down. Get yourself something to eat. Again, full menu. Kids can always find something on this menu too. The kids that were here last night couldn't eat the food fast enough. They thought it was pretty good, and they liked having the chocolate milk here too.
They have the new area back down there too with the glass door where you can watch the parade from as well.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, Patty. So yeah, they've so over the last, let's call it 3 years, right? Made a lot of improvements here. Did the expansion. Now have the banquet facility downstairs, which is a really cool space. Couple pool tables. I've been to a couple. I've been to a 50th birthday party down there, and
Okay.
did some other. We had an election night party down there last year, and some other stuff. It's a really cool space. Just the way it's done, it's just a neat, just a neat space. You mentioned the garage door that's there, so you've got a full set of windows that look out over Central Avenue, and you're right. Get yourself a table and a couple stools down there. Get your drink and your burger, and you just watch the parade zip right past you there. And then when you need a break, go over to PJ's next door. Get your wine selection for the night. That way, when you leave here, you got your wine to take home with you. And if you needed a warmer upper while you're out there, Patty will have the hot chocolate for you too. And boy, well, just when I was talking about Lake Country Lutheran, maybe not quite having it together, they called that timeout. And after that timeout, they got it together. They go down and score a touchdown. Had a big play, but a 45-yard play that got them into position, and then quarterback throws it into triple coverage. And usually that's a bad idea. But got it right to where his guy could catch it, and pretty nice catch. Lucky throw, nice catch.
That was kind of impressive.
Yeah. Hey, Daryl.
I'm going the other way now.
All right.
No, I would have loved to do that. I really would have.
Next time.
I probably should have because I love talking. You know that.
Let's see. Lake Country Lutheran puts the extra point up, and it's good. So we got a tie game now, Patty. Tie game, 7-7. 9:44 left in the second quarter. So the game
Might turn
on.
out to be a pretty good game.
Well, yeah, for now, and I hate to say that, but I've seen a lot more of Amherst maybe than I've seen of some other teams, especially Lake County Lutheran. I know what Amherst is capable of. So just check our hotline here, make sure I'm not missing anything. Should we do a trivia question?
Sure.
We were going to do some trivia earlier. The bar has got a T-shirt for me to give away, so maybe this would be a good time for that. Let me just do a quick double check here. Oh boy, this could be something. We don't want to say that on there. Okay, a friend of the show, Nick Arnoldi, Marshfield Insurance. You probably know Nick. Nick's got a big role in the parade tonight, so we wish Nick all the best of luck at the parade. But yeah, Nick likes what I do. How about we'll just say that? You can, if people are watching, they'll see his comment down there. Thank you, Nick. Nice of you to say. All right, well, so Amherst now will take the field back on offense. We'll have a 1st and 10 after Mr. Do-It-All Gladowski takes the kick return, and now he's their quarterback now, so he just does whatever they ask him to do.
How many positions has he played?
Well, I've seen him on defense, and obviously he's the quarterback. He may play 4 positions.
Wow.
Yeah. Plays one of them really well. There's no doubt about that. So, all right, well, let's see here. Get a trivia question here. Make sure that I've got everything else pointed and lined up just like I want it to be. Yep, I think we're ready to roll there. So, we've done a couple sports trivias. We've done some other stuff, too. Let's find something else. Okay. I don't know. That's too easy, right? Georgia is famous for what fruit? Is that too easy, do you think?
That's too easy.
That's too easy? Okay. All right, we'll go to something
Yeah, I know
else.
the answers. That's too easy.
That's our rule, huh?
That's-
If Patty knows the answer, like, right away?
Yeah, it's too easy.
Okay, we'll see if people know this one. You'll know it, but this will be one you have to put maybe just one extra second of thought into before you blurt out the answer. On what continent would you not find bees? Okay, you got to think about it first, and then it's like, of course, it's one of those. Oh gosh, how did I not know that? Kind of an answer. So we'll let that one marinate out there. We've got a Nuts Deep T-shirt for the first two. Comment on the live feed about what continent does not have bees on it. You'll get a T-shirt, and then we'll let it go. If you know the answer, if you think of it, we'll see if we get any responses first before I let you fire it off there. Do you think you know it?
I'm not sure, but I know he knows it.
It's kind of a trick question, right? A little bit, yeah, a little bit. It's also a continent that doesn't have any giraffes or dogs or cows or really much of anything. Penguins, right?
Penguins.
Yeah, penguins there. Not any people though. I guess the only people would be there are people that went there to research the place. I don't think you could honestly live there.
I know who would want to. It's
Yeah.
cold enough here.
I give enough clues now, do you think?
Yeah, it's
okay.
cold enough here.
It is cold enough here. It is.
So people just respond on your feed and then.
Yeah, yep. That's what we'll do. Is a matter of fact here, we're gonna bump you out of here in about 2 minutes. We've got our next guest ready, Mr. Todd Barton from V&H, and Todd correctly answered a trivia question earlier today, so we could give him a prize when he shows up here. Yeah. So that's something.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. All right, let's see here. We got a 3rd and 5 coming up for Amherst. 7.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. And, they didn't get 5. They got less than 5. The ball was on the ground momentarily. They did get the ball back, though. That could have been, and he's shaking his head. That could have been a bad problem there for Amherst. Could have been. So, take a peek here, Patty, where they are on the field, and we'll see what they do here, and then we'll move you out of here. So, yeah, Gladowski is their punter on occasion, so we'll see what they do here. They're they're on the 35 though, so that's not necessarily a punt. They don't know what they want to do yet. So Coach Lusich is going to take a timeout. So we will take a timeout. We'll thank Patty from PJ's Tropical Paradise for being here. A lot of fun being here.
Yes.
30 minutes went by pretty fast, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Wasn't
that was
the worst
good.
thing you ever did.
No, I'm fine.
No, I think it was. I think it was actually pretty good. So, again, we're here at Nuts Deep, 801 South Central Avenue, Patty's or PJ's Tropical Paradise, located right next door, just one door to the south. Make sure to check in there tonight while you're down for the Christmas parade, and then check in there anytime. Lots of fun stuff happening inside there. Wine tastings, 50 craft beers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
50 craft beers, all kinds of different wine to choose from, and all kinds of fun stuff going on in there. So, good to support our local businesses, good to support Patty, and we're happy that you stopped in to see us.
Thanks for having us.
All right. All right, so we'll continue marching on here. I had a look here. I was going to bring some of my studio lights in here. Now I realize I probably should have. Kind of have some mood lighting going on in here, I think. No, it's not bright enough. But that's all right.
Okay.
We'll get it figured out. Yeah, see you guys. Thanks again. All right, well, Amherst is going to pick up where they left off here after that timeout. Lusich called a timeout. They were a little unsure. They're not really in punting territory. They are in going for it territory, and they do go for it. We'll see on the spot here what became of that. Umpires come in to spot the ball. Take a look here what happens. So, Rich, I'll ask you, and you can stay where you are. The umpire comes in like that. He's got his foot down, but he's not the official mark for that ball, though, right? Yeah.
Always the winner.
Yeah. So he's there with his foot in the ground just because he's standing there, or is he attempting to help it anyway in that case?
No, he will not.
No, he's got nothing to say about it. Okay. All right. Well, Amherst did pick up the first down. We'll have Todd come in and join us here when he's ready. But they did pick up the first down on 4th and 4, and so now they're looking to score. Debut? Oh, jeez.
How you doing?
Todd, good to see you.
Nice seeing you.
Thanks again for being here. So we'll just introduce you right away. Todd Barton of V&H. That's your fame anyway, but you got a lot more
Very
going on
little.
than that. Very little, he says. Definitely proud to have V&H as a sponsor. Sponsored highlights on the Zaleski Sports show, and they've sponsored other highlights here in football and volleyball playoffs, along with more to come. And what we saw there as you were sitting down is Marcus Glonowski doing what he does. He gets low, picks his hole, and he bursts through it. Just bursted right through the hole.
Seen too much of that 2 weeks ago.
Actually, he made four guys. He didn't really. He bursted, but he made four guys miss there. That was something else there too. Watch it one more time. Probably should have been tackled there. 44 had him for about a 3-yard gain, and he turns it into a 28-yard touchdown.
I think anybody's going to catch him.
So, like we've seen, like we see often in high school football, quarterback runs in for a touchdown, and he's the holder for the extra point. And why not? And why not? So we'll talk about V&H here a little bit as these guys are probably going to go to commercial. 5:42 left now in the second quarter. Amherst up 14-7, and I would expect. Again, I guess I've kind of been saying it all game, but I would expect Amherst to stay in that spot. But Lake County Lutheran answered them before, so we'll see what happens. So everybody knows V&H, a short drive from anywhere. But maybe give us some insights as to what's going on inside the building. We're changing seasons now from fall to winter, and you've got kind of a service mind in there. So what should people know about the change of the season in their car?
Well, a lot of the stuff right now is the big thing for us this time of year is tires. The manufacturers have big rebates on them, so we sell a whole lot of tires this time of year, batteries, just getting your car ready for winter.
Okay. All right, and just start with a phone call, or they just drive on in? What's the best way?
Either way, they can call in. Driving in, we've been pretty busy, like with the quick lane.
Okay.
Typically, it's drive in, no appointment necessary.
Okay.
Right now, with all the tires and stuff we're doing, we're actually booked out a little bit. So,
okay.
probably further ahead to make a phone call right now.
Okay, so make a phone call, get an appointment. Get an appointment and then get settled in that way. Now, all the advancements in oil technology over the years, it used to be a thing, especially in an automobile. You had to get your oil changed this time of year. If you're on schedule, say I just got my oil changed last month. I put on 800 miles. Is that still a thing to get your oil changed when winter's here, to change the weight and all that kind of thing?
Not too much.
Okay.
They're all a synthetic blend oil now, so it used to be we'd tell everybody 3,000 miles. Most of the owner's manuals will say 7 to 7,500 miles. We still probably recommend to have it done by 5 because they're talking ideal conditions. And
Right.
Wisconsin isn't ideal conditions.
It is not ideal in a lot of ways. I see a little, just a little swing pass there to the receiver. Lake County Lutheran though moved the ball 6-7 yards there in first down, set them up nicely for second down. How much into the sales end of it do you get into, or?
I spent the first 26 years at the dealership in the front of the store, so
Okay.
I still do some of it, but not very much. They got pretty capable people up there. But every once in a while, still a lot of past customers. They stop in. They can get them set up with stuff. But no, for right now, my focus is in the back of the store, the service and the parts department.
Okay. So over the years, I happened to buy 3 cars from V&H. I bought probably more cars than I care to admit to over the whole swing of it. But such is life with 2 kids and family of 4 and that type of thing, and living in Wisconsin, right? I mean, cars don't last forever anywhere, but especially around here. So, let's just talk about new cars and the makes that V&H carries now.
Well, we have Ford and Lincoln on one side of the showroom, and then we also have Chrysler, Jeep, Ram on the other side of the showroom, but Dodge also.
Okay.
And then we got pretty much, you name it, used cars. We've got a pretty good selection of domestic and foreign.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, good to know. Good to get a refresher on that. Things change often. Even if you're a guy like me that probably trades in more often than somebody else does, I still don't do it all that much. So.
More is better.
I know. Oh, I know. I know. The last time it's been about 2 years. So I just sometimes need a refresher on who's selling what, and dealerships certainly will orient themselves differently every now and then, just to kind of mix things up, or maybe you've just got a better relationship with somebody else. So certainly it wasn't always the case that V&H had that full array, as the case may be. So, all right, well, Lake County Lutheran, or the Lightning, I'm just going to start saying the Lightning. The school name's a little too long. The Lightning is moving the ball. And down 14-7, but they've crossed the 50 now. As we approach the 4-minute mark, we've got whistles on the field, though. And there's been a few whistles here in this first half. And a few for the Lightning, and now their second false start, 1 in each of the last 2 drives. Now, last drive ended in a touchdown. But those penalties can just kill you.
Oh, is Holderman playing now?
No, I haven't seen Holderman out there at all. He banged heads pretty good last week with the Grantsburg defender that came at him. And the Grantsburg kid sat on the field for about 2 or 3 minutes. Holderman, he sat there for closer to 10 minutes before he was able to go off the field. So
He's
just
a tough kid.
Yeah. Just a week later, though, and we were talking with Rich Hull earlier, our official expert, and player safety, big thing, And just 6 days later, probably not enough time. Not enough time. But you're right. He's a tough kid. He's a good runner. He had 3 touchdowns in that game, even though he was taken out of the game halfway through the third quarter. He still already had 3. And on that play, he was running in for his 4th, and he fumbled the ball into the end zone on the 2-yard line. He was on his way in. So he would have had 4 had that collision not happened. But Amherst got plenty of other running backs, and they got number 3 there. I was telling a story. Maybe you've got some insight on this. you know, for those that don't know, you've got two boys that played football this past season for Stratford. Post game, as I was leaving Amherst, I interviewed Coach Tubbs afterwards, and so I was there a little bit later, maybe than most people were. But Marcus Gladowski and Jordan Becker were walking off together. So I don't know if that's just good sportsmanship or if those two kids know each other.
I don't know that answer.
Okay.
I know a lot of the kids know that Vilno,
Oh yeah.
through wrestling.
Oh, okay.
He's a pretty good wrestler also.
Okay. Well, that would make sense then. You know, and maybe just through playing organized sports for 4 years or 3 years, whatever it might be. You just get to know the other kids.
I've heard that Gladowski's only played for a couple years.
Yeah. Right.
Junior and senior year, maybe?
Yeah. Well, they've got a long history of really good players. Tough to break into the starting lineup sometimes at Amherst.
And they got another Groshek coming.
They got another one coming, and that's why I would, if I had to guess at it, I would say because of Groshek, the one that plays for the Badgers now, probably had Gladowski's carries, or at least his percentage of the offense anyway. So, all right, well, guys, again, we're here at Nuts Deep in Marshfield, 801 South Central Avenue. Voted best in Marshfield in a number of categories: burger, cheese curds, 2017 Small Business of the Year. All kinds of good stuff going on here, including tonight. And I see people coming in now pretty regularly. 5 o'clock, so I guess that's feed time. But more importantly than that, it is pre-parade time. So, got a big parade here happening in town today, and Nuts Deep has always been a good place to come down and get ready for the parade. So make sure to get down here, get yourself ready, and bring the kids. The menu's pretty complete. Got enough different varieties for everybody, all ages, all the different drinks you could want. Drinks for mom and dad, chocolate milk for the kids, or whatever it might be. So got a menu to suit everybody. But come on down. You know, I know we got tables open in front of us, so if you want to sit down here and chat with me and Todd, well, it's a good place to do it. Maybe we'll even get you on camera, who knows. So, they call that complete?
No.
Find out. Lightning with a big pass play down the sideline as we take a look at the replay here. It looks like his foot's out of bounds. It looks like the foot's out of bounds, but we'll see what the linesman there called. There's 11. Yeah, they called it a catch. Called it a catch.
No review.
No review in high school football. If there was, that probably would have been called back, I think. Yeah. All right, well, with that ensuing handoff now, Lightning down to the 3.5-yard line. And just like after the last Amherst score, Todd, Lightning come right back down. As I was mentioning before, they're 13-0, so they obviously know how to win games. And we'll see. But right now they are every bit up to the test that the Falcons have put out there. Oh boy.
I think that probably hurts him having Holderman out on defense more than offense.
Could be. That could be. Yeah, that could be. All right, well, touchdown Lightning. And we're an extra point away from tying this game up. Lightning fans are going crazy there in the lower rows of Camp Randall. Still kind of funny, we were talking about this before, Todd. So, you know, you have the schools that travel, with the team. You'd be down there right now if it was Stratford, and there'd be another, 800 of you, right? I mean, realistically. And if they show some of these corner angles, there's still, and you see this every year at these state championships, there's still 2 or 3 guys sitting all by themselves up in the corner somewhere.
Their friends.
With all their friends. Yeah, it just looks strange to me. It just looks a little bit odd. I know, and somebody said to me, well, they may be scouts. Well, the scouts are sitting in the press box, so I know that they're not scouts. I don't know if they're just a couple of guys that were on Madison Day, had nothing else to do, and went to the games.
I'm sure it's general admission.
It is, right, yeah, you go in there and sit wherever you want, right. Right, yeah, I think $13 or something like that gets you in. And you just go sit wherever you want, but a couple of these, they're just kind of up by themselves,
I
sitting
know
around.
my oldest one went this morning. They're staying for
Oh, is that right?
days.
That's nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, you know, it's a good day of fun. We've had a great day of fun here, and we're just watching on TV. But to go down for football, I did it once. 2003, maybe. One of Marshfield's championships. Dan Zeppelin was a running back back then, so I think it was in '03. Pretty sure. But anyway, yeah, had a blast that day. It's a good time. You know, college campus, you get all the accoutrements and the restaurants and maybe a bar or two. It's all right there.
I want a reason to go.
Understood. Understood. Yeah, we've done the same for college basketball tournament too, and that it's a lot of fun. Though, what I'll tell you though, the difference if you have not done either, I'd recommend the football if you're just going to go for the fun of it, because of those guys in the corner, the bleacher seats there. So you got room to spread out. The Kohl Center, a couple bigger guys like us, we're scrunched in like this for. Well, for me, that last time I went, 6-7 hours. Long time. Long time, a lot of hoops, a lot of fun though. A lot of fun. I took my brother down to Milwaukee last year, and they had opening round of NCAA basketball tournament. Well, Milwaukee was a host city, so we went down and we did 4 games in Milwaukee, and then he's from Indianapolis, so he met me in Milwaukee. And then we drove down to Indy. They had opening round games there the next day. So we did Thursday Milwaukee 4 games, Friday Indianapolis 4 games, and then back to Milwaukee for the 2 games after that. So, and then I was kind of worn out for basketball, to be honest about it. Yeah, I'm sure the penalty marker will fly there. So big pass play here by Amherst. Kyle Zaleski there, who's also the place kicker, field goal kicker. He's a good kicker. He really is. You may have overheard me talking about that before, but it's not always common in football to compliment a kicker. But that kid can kick the ball, and by the looks of it here, he can catch the ball too. Caught about a 38, 40-yard pass there, and caught it through defensive pass interference. So with the catch, they'll decline the penalty, and that'll put Amherst at the 13-yard line. Handoff after that, and we're winding down now. We got 30 seconds left though. Amherst with just the 1 timeout, so we'll see if they can make anything of this here. Ooh, we were reaching for the ball there. Going for the ball. Amherst will use their last timeout now with 18 seconds left. So 3rd down, pass to the end zone. 18
They're gonna
seconds,
have
no
to.
timeout. Yeah.
It's what down? 2nd down?
Third down.
3rd down. Pass to the end zone and Gladowski on the 4th down, or they'll kick it.
Well, yeah, we'll find out. I mean, so if it's me, the coach, right? I got 1 pass to the end zone for a touchdown. We had a friend of the show, Mike Klein, in earlier, and he correctly called that in a Division 7 game right before halftime. Pass to the end zone in the corner. You know, if you throw it in the middle, that ball could get tipped and it could get intercepted. So he said, well, coach will have him pass it to the outside along the sideline. It'll be safe over there. Banger intercepted him. But he had everything else right. So we'll see if that's what happens here. See on the TV here, Scott Winch. Familiar name to many people and many people watching the show. He's going to be interviewed at halftime. So if you're watching me for supplemental, make sure to turn the volume on then for halftime. Scott Winch will be a good interview. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say. I'll be watching. Well, they passed to the middle, and they didn't pass to the end zone. They threw a short, kind of a crosser there, and he's kind of thrown behind him anyway. So 4th and 10. 16 seconds left. You can take your 3 points here with, I would say, probably the best high school kicker I saw this year.
It doesn't look like timeout.
Well, they don't have any timeouts left. So Lucic got his headset off, though. So he's made his decision. Now he's got his headset off. And they're, you can't say they're going to go for it because the holder and the kicker are both on the offensive unit. So, and I thought there would have been a procedural penalty there. Instead, a screen pass, and it's not going to happen. Screen pass will not get there, and the Lightning hold. They're going to take a tie to halftime.
Would an never guessed it.
Yeah, no, same here. I'm surprised by that. Surprised by the play call there, and surprised that we've got what looks probably to be a tie at halftime between these two. So Lightning came to play. Boy, they had it set up like they wanted to, right? Defensive linemen came flooding in, but linebackers that were left there knifed through the screen blocking and stopped Amherst for about a 2-yard gain on fourth and, well, I guess it was 4th and 10. So Lightning will kneel down there and knot it up at 14, going to half.
Would have never guessed it.
Well, again, that's why I say I don't predict high school sports. You just can't do it. Not that I'm that good at predicting other levels, but
They're usually up by 40 by now.
well, ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Well, we'll see what happens here in the second half. Again, while I won't predict it, I'll just reference back to the game last week. I don't know if you had a chance to watch Amherst and Grantsburg last week. Amherst took a 14-0 lead at halftime, and I thought 14 was pretty good for Grantsburg. To hold Amherst to the 14, Grantsburg, they were able to move the ball a little bit. Grantsburg kind of got caught in the wind, literally and so to speak. When they had good drives but stalled out, they had to punt into the wind. So Amherst got the better of that, and then when they were able to punt with the wind, or if they had to, they couldn't get any offense going at all. They would have 3 and out, and they would punt from their own 10, and sure, it would drive Amherst back to the 40. But anyway, so they just things just didn't work for them. But they were able to move the ball on occasion against Amherst, and defensively, it looked like they were going to have an answer for the Falcons. Second half happened at halftime. Lusich made the adjustments you would expect a quality high school coach to make, and before you know it, it was 35-0, and running clock.
Amherst defense doesn't get the credit.
Yeah.
Their offense is so good, but they held Spencer Columbus to what, 16?
Yep.
And
16 and 1 was kind of a late in the game touchdown, right? So what did you certain label for those? But yeah.
They shut Stratford's offense down pretty well. That their defense is a good reason why they're there too. It's not just Glodowski.
It's a good point. It's a very good point. I remember in that Stratford game especially, Teddy Redmond had a nice run after catch, a little swing pass, and now Teddy's got some special skills. Very quick,
Fun to watch.
very fast. He's very quick. He's very smart, and he was able to make the Amherst defense look silly for one play. But you're right though. For the rest of that game, the Amherst defense did whatever it wanted to do against Stratford, and 52-15 end result of that. So no, I think it's a good point, Todd. The Amherst defense is pretty good too. It's not just an offensive show.
They held Lipke in check the week before.
Which hadn't been done all year.
No, that kid's special.
Yeah, we've talked about him a couple times today, but it bears repeating. I had the opportunity to interview him a couple times and then to talk to him off camera a few times as well. Real smart. He's everything you'd want in a son or a nephew or a neighbor or whatever the case might be. So Spencer, resident, right? So it's Spencer School. He's a Rocket. Spencer girls volleyball was in the playoffs on a Thursday night. He went to watch them. He was at a road game, right? And then the next week, so they lose to Amherst. Then the following Thursday, then I guess it would have been, Stratford volleyball had a regional or a neutral site game somewhere, and there again was Hunter Lubke supporting friends he's got in Stratford, and 2 towns are close, so you know kids from Spencer and Stratford. And there he was again. So just maybe he didn't do it intentionally like that, but just a community-oriented guy too.
No, they get some good kids over there. They've been sitting in my living room a few times. They're nice kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and he's one of them. He's been a class act his whole career, and now he was rewarded through hard work, for sure, and some natural talents that he has. He gets now to go to North Dakota State, and we're certainly going to watch him. We'll watch any highlights we can find of him and check him out. There's been some good recent success from North Dakota State, Carson Wentz. Certainly been a story, especially this year. Better quarterback this year than last year, and you'd expect that from a rookie to a second-year quarterback, especially. But yeah, we wish Hunter all the best, and hope he has at least a fun time in college, right? I mean, you never can say what's going to happen in athletics, but college, you can make anything you want of it and have a fun time there, for sure.
Have you heard of any of the Amherst kids going on?
No, not to this point. Not to this point. You know, and I would imagine at some point here soon, maybe Gladowski's waiting, you know, till after this. I would assume he's going to make his intentions known. But he's, you know, a junior though, right? Or no, he's a senior. Sorry, he is a senior.
Thank God.
Yeah. But he'll make his intentions known here. Maybe he's just waiting for this to be done with. I would assume a number of them will play at places like Stevens Point, Eau Claire, Oshkosh, maybe, you know, those WEAC schools, and they'll have a good career at those schools for sure. I've got the opportunity to cover that football conference this year too, and good football being played in the state of Wisconsin at all levels, all the way up to and including Wisconsin Badgers, where these guys are playing down at Camp Randall. Badgers are in the playoff projections or rankings, whatever you may want to call them. They're 5th. They're one spot out. And listen to some of the guys talk about that the other night. Clemson and Miami, who are 2nd and 3rd or 2nd and 4th, whatever that might be, they play each other yet. So one of them will get knocked out. That'll open a spot for somebody.
Somebody undefeated.
Somebody undefeated, and that can be the Badgers if they choose it to be, I suppose. All right. I still think they'll need to play Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. Before that happens, though, they play Michigan
This week.
in 2 days, and that'll be a contest on its own. You know, certainly, it's not a top 10 Michigan team, but still it's a better Big Ten team, and any Big Ten game, you don't always know what's going to happen. So, we've got a friendly face on TV here. Somebody that we met a time or two. So he's talking about. So again, if you're listening right now, again, thank you. Thanks for tuning in, Jason, with the Zaleski Sports Show. We're here at Nuts Deep in Marshfield, Wisconsin, 801 South Central Avenue. Come on down. We've got some pre-parade activities going down. We've got us here and all kinds of other good stuff. So come on down, grab a bite to eat, and settle in for the night as we watch Stratford's own Scott Winch.
Yeah, superintendent.
Yeah, he's got also a position with the administrative body for high school sports here in Wisconsin. And, he's talking about player safety right now. So player safety certainly been a big thing the last 10 years across all levels of football.
I actually started my career with Scott. We registered the same day, first day.
Oh, really? How did you get Ed Hockley here to come?
Well, every now and then I can get Ed Hockley to come here and learn us a thing or two. Gene Sterator, maybe, as he's been called before, or Jerry Seaman, who's an old NFL official, a good one that
Red Cashin.
a lot of Red Cashin, sure. I don't know if it's good or bad that we know the names of the referees from the NFL. I suppose it's good. I don't know. They kind of become celebrities in their own right, though. Yeah, they get on TV a lot. You know, TV is good about putting their name up below them, so I guess you kind of get that.
So that way you know who you're mad at.
Yeah, that's something. Say that again.
That way you know who you're mad at.
Yeah, right. It's good question here. So he's talking about, so in 2019, so 2 basketball seasons from now, there'd be a 35-second shot clock in all Wisconsin high school sports. Good idea?
I like the idea. My son will be a senior that year, and he's talked about it already. But yeah, I like it. I think it'll keep teams a little into the game. I mean, it's pretty easy to hide the ball from somebody for a while in high school.
Yeah.
You end up with fouls and to keep some of the players in the game longer. And
We have the, you're right, I agree with you on all those things. We got the opportunity to interview Marshfield girls basketball coach Heidi Michaels tomorrow. So that's one of my questions for her and how a coach will have to adjust to that. There's already been a couple, I guess, official games, especially for girls basketball. already. And I watched a little bit of that just the other night, and yeah, I think even more so, just for all kinds of reasons. I think girls basketball may be more affected by that than boys basketball. But there's plenty of boys teams though that will do a version of four corners and or just not in any hurry to really go anywhere. So we'll see we'll see what kind of impact that has. But yeah, 2 years from now, so you get this year and next year, same rules. I don't think the shot clock though will affect Marshfield basketball, girls basketball, too much. Those girls are 60s regularly and push 70 on the scoreboard often. So they like to score a lot of points in the Heidi Michaels offense, which is no surprise. I had mentioned a little bit earlier, and as we get ready to sign you off here, Coach Michaels in her high school career, she played at Prentice. She's in top 50 in state scoring history. She had over 1,700 points in her high school career, and then had over 1,000 points in her college career at Division I Miami of Ohio. So
Oh, really?
she likes to score the ball.
They've had a few kids go to play college basketball, haven't they?
Yeah, they had a Varsho come through, and some others. They've got, oh boy, I'm blanking her name right now. She plays at Viterbo this year. And then they had one that played for Indiana about 10 years ago or so. And if somebody said her name right now, I'd say, oh yeah, of course, that's it. But
Cigar.
Yep, and had a decent career at Indiana too. So yeah, no, a lot of it's a good program. And Coach Michaels, this will be her 17th year as the coach there. And when I went to look up some of her stats, I figured, she's probably there 8 or 9 years. No, 17 it's been already. So, all right. Well, speaking of what it's already been, it's been already a half an hour here, Todd. So again, thanks for joining in. Again, guys, V&H is a short drive from anywhere, located just north of Marshfield on Highway 97. I've said that a time or two, it turns out. But it's always it's been a fun time. We like to give back to our sponsors. This is one way we can do it to make sure you're able to come down and talk about some stuff and kind of hang out and watch football too.
I appreciate it.
All at the same time.
My wife really enjoys your show, and
yeah,
she's watching right now. So
yeah. Well, thanks, Denise. Thanks for watching. We appreciate your support.
So no, she loves to hear you talk about her boys.
Oh,
So.
geez. Okay.
Thank you.
All
sir.
right. Good. Thanks a
good
lot.
seeing you.
Thanks for
Take
being
care.
here. All right. All right, Rachel, come on in. We'll get Rachel up to speed here. Well, the show is here.
Woo!
Do you want a menu?
No.
Yeah, you do. Oh, we got one right here. I got one right here. I got the host.
honey.
The host menu is right here. So we'll let Rachel page through the menu there a little bit, and I'll have you get me in order here. So, all right. Well, again, as we change out, as we've done often here today, we've had a whole lot of fun today. We've had guests coming in left and right, talking about all kinds of stuff. See you, Todd. Thanks again. Just finished up there with Todd Barton from B&H.
Yep, wonderful.
B&H Auto here in Marshfield.
I watched it a little earlier today.
Well, that's nice of you.
Yeah. On my lunch break.
Okay.
You're doing great.
All right. Good. I may just come back. I thought about. Well, we'll talk about it later.
All
So anyway, so Rachel is
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
There's your name right on there.
Looks so fancy back here.
Yeah.
I
Well,
love
it's
it.
a little something we put together this morning.
Looks really nice.
Literally this morning.
Literally. Literally.
This morning we put it all together.
Yeah.
But take some time to get from up here to here.
Okay.
So even though it was put together in a fabric and
Yep.
sense, it's been put together up here for a long time.
Many days.
So Rachel's the host of the Zaleski Sports Show, and we're happy to have her here.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you're still tuning in and listening
Well, they are.
to everything that we're saying and everything my Jason is saying to you guys, sports expert, coming
Well,
straight at you.
well, we've been, I don't know how much experting we've done today, but we've done a lot of talking. We've had a lot of fun. We've done trivia all day, so
Yep.
so you are free to ask a trivia question during your portion here. Rich is going to join us here in just a second. As I take off, I'll be leaving you guys just for a little bit. Got a meeting across the street to attend to see what our friends at the Park and Rec department have working. They were here this morning though already.
Were
We
they?
heard about all kinds of things the Park and Rec is doing. They brought a bike helmet that we gave
cool.
away. We gave away a stuffed bear
Yeah.
and a replica round barn. So we've had a lot of fun with Park and Rec. Of course, they're moving to a new location. They'll be at the Marshfield Community Center. And that happens on December 12th, the ribbon cutting. They actually move in though on the 4th.
That's
so you
exciting.
can show up here in just a couple weeks and check them out in their new digs right next to the library. So
Wow.
go get your books. You sign up for your winter programs. Check out the swimming schedule at the high school now. That Hefco pool is closed. We go indoors for swimming in Wisconsin during these cold months.
Makes sense to me.
And then we've got the Christmas parade happening here in just a shade over an hour.
Just a shade.
Yeah,
A tick.
an hour and 7 minutes. We're getting busy down here at Not Steep, so come on down. There's still plenty of room for you, though. So come on down and grab something to eat. Get yourself ready for the parade. Again, you can watch right from...
come on in and stay warm. It's nice and warm, toasty
Yeah,
in here.
pretty warm outside, though, too. It's only 35 outside, so if you were to stand outside for a Christmas parade, today would be your day to do it.
Yeah.
We've got a couple places on Main Street on Central Avenue that are giving away hot chocolate, so you can do that. One of those places is right next door at PJ's Tropical Paradise. They will have hot chocolate, and you go inside for a wine tasting and check that out. But again, come down here, Not Steep. Rachel's going to look through the menu here. She's going to pick a bacon cheeseburger. I can sense it in her future.
He knows me so well.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, see, there goes the
Don't even
menu.
need
It's
to look
over.
at it anymore. I just want to put a caution out there for you drivers out there. Just make sure that you are aware that Central, there are certain streets that are closed off for the parade, so make sure that you park accordingly and find your way safely.
Yeah.
There's lots of pedestrians out on the street, so watch and look both ways when you're driving.
Yeah, good. Yeah, right. A lot of people walking around. Any lawn chairs out there yet? We were asking about that before.
No, a lot of foot traffic.
But anyway, so come on down to Nut Steep. The parade is just right outside the window here in the front. You can go down to the banquet room down there. Got a whole panel of windows on the garage door. You can watch the parade right from there. Or, like I said, it's still mid-30s. Step on outside and check it out. See if people throw you some candy. Santa Claus will be there, so you can let Santa know what kind of gift you want. Could be anything, really.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit with Santa Claus, so I've heard. So, all right, you got it from here.
Thanks for the flowers.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. So, so we got a pretty easy setup here.
It sounds,
Right?
it looks easy. So,
It looks easy.
no. It looks nice. I don't think it's easy. So, the
It's
games
been
are going to be
easy.
played on these TVs
Well,
here?
it's the same game. It's the same game. So, we just talk about whatever you want to talk about. And we've talked
sure.
about almost everything today.
Oh, that's great.
So there's nothing that's off limits.
Rich is going to sit next to me?
We're just gonna sit right in.
Ooh, I'm so excited. I got some questions for you,
I
Rich.
know. I told him about it. So, all right, I'll be back.
All right. Hey, can you order me a bacon cheeseburger?
Tag
Here we
team.
go?
Okay.
Sounds good, thanks.
Well, hi,
Hi,
Rachel.
Rich.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Nice to see you again.
Time the good-looking half shows up.
That's right.
All day with him.
Woo. Yeah, right. Wow, it's nice that you could come and be with us on the show today.
It's awesome. We've had a fun day.
Yeah, so tell me, what's your day been like? I saw
Well,
you on
actually,
earlier.
quite surprised actually at this score here at halftime
Wow.
with
Tied up.
Lake Country keeping it tied.
Wow.
There's been some good football today. A couple of heavy favorites that actually didn't win big, but won.
Okay.
But Amherst here obviously has been a perennial D5 power. So to see it tied at half is a little surprising.
Yeah.
Good game.
Good.
Just leave it. It doesn't matter.
So, okay. Tell me the teams that are playing right now.
So Lake Country Lutheran from the southern area of the state, they actually have only had a program for 14 years.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
they're kind of a new school.
Newbies.
And Amherst obviously is from the Central Wisconsin
Yep.
Conference. Iola actually, who was in the D6 final, is actually in the same conference as Amherst, only smaller school, or the smaller division. So
Wonderful.
yeah,
Well, goodness. Don't they look like just such older kids? I mean, they look really good and well bred, I guess. if
yeah,
you
I
will.
guess. Well, this team here is undefeated. They actually beat 3 straight undefeated teams to get here. And,
Okay.
Amherst's only loss was to Fondy Springs, who actually won a D6 title. So
Okay.
both got big resumes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, a couple questions I had. I'm just going to start with the first one. Now, this was posed, the question was on our show this last week for the Zaleski Sports show, and it had something to do with the coaches on the sideline making calls, like with their hands, and that there's two separate coaches making different arm gestures at the same time. So Mike Warren, who was on the show as a guest, gave us his example or idea as to what he thought it was. What do you think is the
Well,
reason?
one's a decoy.
Okay.
So when the visiting team, opposing team is watching, trying to steal signals, which has gone back as far as sports has been around.
Okay.
Obviously, one coach will be sending a set of signals. The other is totally bogus. It has
Oh.
nothing to do with the play. So
Boy,
that's what that would be.
they're both pretty animated, like they went to the same
Oh, yeah.
call school or something. I don't
Right.
know.
Well, you gotta sell it.
No, yeah, I guess. So, what do you like? How do they know, like before the game starts, who to look at or who's calling the right play? Do they kids
A lot of
just
teams
know?
will alternate series. So
Okay.
you'll have the first series. This coach will be the guy, and
Yeah,
they may do it by the quarter.
gotcha.
So I'd imagine there's no set pattern to it.
Okay. How about like, have you ever seen like, because when we were at the, oh gosh, what was it? Stevens Point game, football, one of the coaches was wearing like a bright white hat. So you think that might be, well, you can't
I think
just
that would be
trust
too
it, though.
obvious.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
That would be too obvious, like wearing neon, being the
Right.
only coach wearing neon.
I think what it boils down to is these teams, especially at this level, they're talented.
Yeah.
They've seen enough film on each other.
Sure.
It comes down to just making the plays,
Yep.
no matter what sport you're in.
Right.
You gotta make the pitch, you gotta make the shot, you gotta play the play, and
Yep.
I don't think it's really, yeah, you can steal some stuff, but you still have to play the game.
Yes.
So
Yes. Comes down to talent and knowledge of the sport and knowledge of the game. And going out there and doing what you're taught, I guess. Right?
what you practice.
Right.
Like I said, we were talking earlier today. These teams they're here for a reason. They've had a great regular season, and they've had to win 4 games just to get here. So they've played pretty tough teams, as a rule, to get here.
Yeah. Okay, so another question I have for you. Do you mind?
No.
Oh,
very
good.
Yeah, let's go.
So, when I'm at the games, like, there are sometimes, like, of course, what do you do with those rowdy family members that are just so loud and crazy, yelling at the refs the whole time?
If it gets to a point where it's maybe past the line, there's at varsity games especially, there's game management that kind of stroll around. They'll take care of that.
Oh.
And if it's at a lower level, you'll go to the head coach, and it's your program.
Yep.
And this is your bunch.
Yep.
You're expected to take charge of it. So
Okay.
it usually self-polices itself. Other parents will step
Sure.
up and fix it.
Yeah.
It never really comes to that.
Yeah.
But there's always one, right? I
Yep.
guess.
Yeah. And there are some really loud bunches
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And then it's just so sad because you think, well, this is so distracting from the game. Let's just move on sometimes.
Thankfully, when you're officiating a game, you don't hear any of it.
Really?
Yeah,
You're
you
just,
really
like,
don't.
in the zone?
But you're out in the field and you're with the players, and when your wife or girlfriend or something's in the stands, she'll hear it all. That usually ain't good, but it's part of it. So.
Yeah, yeah. So, when you're like on the field, or excuse me, on the field, and the players are coming at you like, I don't know, at a clip, pretty fast. Are they just supposed to like play through you?
Yeah, the umpire is the guy
Do they
who would
get
be. Yeah, the umpire in high school is the guy who's on the defensive side. That's the guy that gets beat up the most. It's the other guys have ways they can kind of stay out of the way and hide.
Yeah.
But the umpire is at the mercy of the game.
Oh, okay.
And that's why, if you ever notice, the umpire is usually a little on the bigger side, so
Yeah,
to speak.
sure. Yeah, I've seen like, so okay, like right before, because I'm obviously a newbie here with all the football. I mean, I know more than some, but certainly not enough. And then, so like right before the play is called, I'll see the ref that's in the middle there, and he'll like blow his whistle and then back up, or no, he'll back up and then blow his whistle.
The white hat will. Yep.
Okay.
That starts the play clock.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And then that signals that the play should begin, and so
Right.
and then the ref gets out of the way then.
Yep. So in high school, you have 25 seconds after the ball is called ready for play.
Okay.
So once the official, the crew, decides that the ball is everything is ready.
Yeah.
You'll blow the play in, and then they have 25 seconds to snap the ball to get the play off. The NFL has 40 from the end of the play or 25 from the dead ball. So
Gotcha.
high school is 25 every time.
Okay. Okay. And then, so then I also see a lot of these arm movements where they're like all the refs are looking at each other, and they're, and what are they doing? Just getting on the same page, or?
So there's about seven basic signals that officials use
Okay.
to signal each other, and the ones you'll see standard are with a fist out, and that tells the other officials that there's 11 players on,
Okay.
which eliminates a lot of penalties when lining up and stuff. You'll see the outside guys with their arm, back. And that'll tell the receivers if it's loud or bad conditions. It tells that receiver whether you're on the line of scrimmage or not.
Right.
It also signals to the other officials that, hey, my guy is off the line of scrimmage, so you have that legal
Okay.
formation. The other stuff is kind of just crew mechanics, but there's a lot of just the basic stuff that kind of tells the game itself that
Right.
everything is up to speed.
Okay. All in the motion of hands.
Right. You have to assume that there's no audio to this game, or you're sitting watching it. That's why the NFL, you're probably watching a game in a tavern,
Right.
maybe with a loud crowd.
Yep.
You don't have to hear it to know what's going on.
Right. And so the average football fan is watching the game and they kind of know those
Yeah.
basic calls.
Yeah.
But there are times where I do not, and I'm looking for.
Yeah, well, no,
to fill me in.
there's a lot of things that are done that only officials see or
Yeah.
are involved with, but it's part of the game. You watch the game. Once you're an official, you watch the game as an official
Yeah,
more than
that's-
you're a fan. And
Oh yeah.
so
I was gonna say, I was thinking earlier, what it would be like to watch a full game with you, and then allow you just to just freely speak, as though you're just seeing it as
yeah, it's hard, especially when you're out on the field. There's a lot of times where you have my responsibility as a quarterback, and I have him until everything is clear. He could have made a 40-yard pass if the guy made a one-handed circus catch. I've never seen it.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
so that happens a lot, and but that's as you get more experience, that's what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. How about when do you ever have disagreements with another ref? Does it ever come down where you're be honest, to where you're in their face, in the huddle?
No,
what are you thinking? What was that?
The crews that are here are all 5 work together all season, so
Oh,
they're not just thrown into
Right.
this game. So you working with guys, and quite honestly, in high school football, the majority of crews out there are buddies,
Sure.
former teammates that
Okay.
have formed a crew.
Okay.
And so it's not like you're working with somebody that you probably don't like.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
You don't like the back of your hand.
The one of the best things about, especially officials at this level, they all have a zone and a responsibility in every play.
Yeah.
And if you don't go fishing in the other guy's pond, so to speak,
Yeah.
you won't make obvious mistakes and glaring mistakes.
Sure.
And calls are missed.
Yep.
Things happen. It's sports.
Right.
But the one thing about high school is we don't have the ability to have replay.
Oh, sure.
And you have to go with it, and you move on to the next play.
Yeah, do you just ever second guess? Because if you don't, if you do, then it's going to probably be picked up by everybody around you.
Yeah, you never can second guess a call. I mean, you have to make that call, and you have to. Again, one of the drawbacks with high school football is there's only 5 officials out there.
Sure.
An NFL game has 8.
Oh, okay.
And so when you put those 3 extra guys out there, they are in spots that might not get covered on a high school game.
Sure.
And as a rule, coaches understand that. And there'll be a lot of nights where you'll tell the coach, we just couldn't be in that spot at this play. And
Right.
99 times out of 100, a coach will.
Right.
He understands it's part of the game, and parents are a little different
Sure.
different deal because they think their kid is the only one out on
Yeah.
the field and he's getting held, and
Right.
but it's part of the game.
Right.
It really is, and officials know that when you sign up for it.
Yeah, definitely. I was in high school, which felt like a long time ago. I helped out with volleyball, and it was a line judge. And I don't know how many times I was like, I'm like, I don't know, in or out, and I just had to stick with it.
Yeah, and it's one of the things as
And
you
it plays
learn.
back in my mind later on.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it
"Oh,
does.
darn
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
I
absolutely.
knew it was out and I called it in. Or
Yeah,
something.
absolutely. And the big thing today versus 20 years ago when I started, the social media that's out there.
Oh, yeah.
There's literally live streams, which is what we do, and the Zaleski Sports show, and
Yep.
stuff like that goes on. That'll and it's not mistakes happen.
Yeah, yeah.
It's part of the game.
Well, and it's like instant replay, like right up in your face.
Yeah.
People can just take a snippet and say, "Oh, see,
Yeah.
I'm going to show you right now."
It's a huge play right there. Lake Country's blocked a punt, and now they'll have it at the 10
Ooh.
going in. So
Wow.
huge momentum switcher there.
Yeah. Are you on either side of the fence here tonight with these teams?
No, I don't. It's a touchdown for
Wow.
Lake Country. They're
Good
up.
job. Touchdown
Yeah.
number 20.
It's midway in the third quarter. Now they're up 7.
Wow.
Huge play.
Yeah, they finally broke that tie. Good for them.
No, I've learned long ago. I don't have alliances to anybody. It just makes it.
Yeah.
You literally have to be black and white.
Yeah, definitely. That's understandable.
Yeah, it's a one-play drive right there. Block punt, score.
Wow. Good for them. What do you think's going through their minds right now?
Honestly, Lake Country being first time ever at state, I'd have to imagine they're feeling pretty good about themselves right
Oh,
now
I
with
bet.
7 minutes left in the third quarter to be up 7 against a power like Amherst.
Yeah. Now, how do you think, as a coach, what would you be telling your players? Like, just chill out, just play the game?
Well, the emotions are going to be, especially for Lake Country. I mean, that's one of the things you'll have to fight. Amherst having that 4 or 5 year, experience level.
Right.
It makes a big difference.
I bet. If I was Amherst, I'd be like, ooh, okay, now, that was obviously something that we really should have known better about. How do we go in there and change it for next time?
Right.
Yeah, that's hard.
And Amherst has been here before, so they.
Yeah.
This will be a lot more said yet before it's done.
Oh, I'm sure. So it'd be a big upset then.
This would be a huge upset.
Ooh, okay. Don't you love those games? It's
Yeah, I
kinda
do.
fun.
They're fun to officiate.
I bet. I don't know, like being the underdog. You gotta hope that they aren't making any stupid decisions, but playing smart. And,
Well, you saw that the block punt.
Yeah.
The next play was a touchdown. So
Well, right.
a lot of times special
Take
teams. Anybody watches football, special teams can decide a game.
Yes. Yes.
The thing is, special teams are on the field for maybe a half a dozen plays all game.
Yeah.
And if you botch one, here's what you got.
That's what you get. You give it to the other team.
I've actually worked for this coach here. He's a very classy individual. So
Oh, that's nice.
yeah.
Do you notice, or I guess I don't know if it's taboo to ask you, but do you find that some of the coaches, like, is it majority that they're pretty good, upstanding,
Yes.
classy coaches, and just a
Yeah,
few
no, the
rotten
sportsmanship level at high school sports, in my opinion, in my career, is at about an all-time high.
apples? Oh, good.
The players the last few years, and I don't know if it's because a lot of kids know each other from AAU,
Sure.
or interactions, and because they're playing against each other all summer long and
Yeah.
different things, and it gets to the point where I don't think it's the old rivalry stuff like it was
Right.
back in years ago.
Oh my gosh. See? Number 3 is taking it all the way down the field now. He really wants that touchdown. You think they're going to give it to him again?
I don't know.
Wait, is he the quarterback?
You got face mask too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, right there.
Ooh!
Official missed that one. That's one of those plays. Now that's a good example of in the NFL. There's 2 more guys that are on that sideline.
Yeah.
And that guy would have been right on it.
Oh,
for
sure.
The back judge, if you see him, he's in the middle of the field.
Right.
He has a tough angle on that and didn't see it.
Yeah.
Now, somebody somewhere is going to see that, and they're going to wonder why that didn't get called.
Oh, sure.
It's just one of those plays that just don't always get covered.
Now, and then do they hold the official accountable?
Not at high school level.
Okay.
I mean, it's just part of the deal. And
Yeah,
they're-
you can only see so much.
The officials here are not professionals. It's
Right. Plus, like when you were talking earlier about your group of officials, and then you guys kind of like just know, like you guys know each other by the back
Right.
of your hand. You know,
Right.
like, you just and you trust them.
yeah, that's a big thing. But the crews that are here, that got to this level, they're here because they work well together and
Sure.
they do trust each other.
Yeah. Yep. So that's.
See, Amherst within a minute now has got it goal to goal here.
I know it. I know. Well, keep them on their toes, I guess, huh?
Yes.
And next time with special teams, you know. Oh, and there it is. Touchdown, Amherst. Who is that, number 3?
Sklodowski, he's their starter.
There you have it. Very exciting. And the fans go wild. So make sure that you guys stop by and say hi. Jason ordered us dinner, and it's just staring at me in the corner over there. But I'm just gonna keep on talking. Finish strong here. Touchdown. So, so what are they tied up now again?
Yeah.
Ow,
It's tight.
back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I guess it's better than a blowout. Who wants to watch a blowout? These are exciting times. So what's it gonna come right down into? Well, I don't know. We still have a little bit left in the third quarter before it gets to the fourth quarter, but still very thrilling. So how long have you been officiating again?
This is my 27th year.
27
Yeah,
years.
long time.
That is a long time. Good for you. You love it. How many more years
I
are you
do.
gonna go?
A few yet. I still enjoy it.
Good.
It gets to be at this time of the year. It gets to be long, but
Yeah.
it's the rewards have been more than worth the effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of like cardiovascular workout or anything that you do to keep yourself?
I should.
I know I should too, but yeah, I only have so much time in a day. So, and so you guys start at what time of the year? Like obviously when football season starts.
We'll start when the scrimmage is. We'll usually do a scrimmage in early August.
And that happens before the season officially starts.
1 week before the season, and
Okay.
then we'll work every Friday night till playoffs, and then you'll get a couple assignments in the playoffs, and if you get fortunate, you get a game here in Madison,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which is the goal of every. I would hope every official out there.
Yeah, definitely. That is so exciting. So you basically have to keep your Fridays open, no matter
Fridays our schedules are set 2 years in advance, so we already know. Officials all know in 2018 where they're going to be every Friday night.
Gotcha.
So
It's a commitment.
it's a commitment. It's a huge commitment.
You can't have anybody get married or something on a Friday.
Well, we do take week off. I don't take weeks off, but there's officials that do.
But there are some that do, and you have like backups, people that come
Yeah,
in. And substitute.
my crew actually has a 6th guy that works with us that we can interchange. So
Oh, good. That's great.
if you want to eat, go ahead.
No,
Something like that.
that's okay. I don't like it too hot anyway. So I'm trying to figure out what all he has over here. There's that little teddy bear there.
That was a trivia prize earlier in the day. So
Oh yeah, I don't even have any trivia questions. Let me find some. Was he having people like stop by and answer them? Or
he was both. We've had both. We've had people text us, and he's also had them online.
Oh yeah.
answers. So
Well, I'm not checking that, people, so I'm sorry. You're gonna have to come down nuts deep and answer these trivia questions if I find some. This will be fun. What kind of trivia questions should I find?
You know what? Wing it. He's done
Oh
some
my
sports. He's done a couple of geographies.
Oh, geographies. That's great. Let me think of. We could do some like pop culture. Let's go with something fun. Celebrity. Mm-hmm. 2017. So the score is 21-21, third quarter, 5 minutes and 33 seconds left to go, and there's a flag on the play. What's the flag?
I wasn't watching.
Okay.
So I don't know.
That's all right. We have a very good signal in this building. I'm not good at trivia.
Well, you don't have to be good at it to ask the question.
I don't know any questions to ask. I was thinking about it like, I don't know, my son really loves basketball, like NBA basketball. He's a Lakers fan
Oh
for
boy.
that darn Lonzo Ball. I don't know. That family's got troubles, I think.
Cowboy fan. What team are you after?
Vikings.
Wow.
They're leading. I'm okay with that. And I gotta say that really quiet.
That's right. You're a Viking fan. I almost forgot.
I know. You're a Packer fan?
I'm a Packer fan.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Well,
Jason and I have been through that countless times.
I bet you have.
Not,
I was gonna say the only way that the Vikings ever have a chance is,
I
of
can
course.
I can actually tolerate Viking fan. I can't tolerate Cowboy fan. I just
Yeah, I
no.
bet.
It's been the '90s were rough.
Oh yeah, well, they really did take a lot of wins then. Big wins.
Favre seemed to have his struggles in Dallas.
Oh,
Every year it seemed like Green Bay's season ended in Dallas.
oh, doggone, yep. But you,
Well, Lakeland just, Lake Country just had a punt, so
okay.
Amherst has the ball back now, tied, and 5 minutes left.
Pushing through that. I'm Let's see. Bear with me, people. We'll find something fun to do. So what's your other favorite sport besides football?
I like baseball.
Do
I
you?
umpire baseball, yeah.
That's a long season.
That's a long season. Baseball is actually is kind of like a hobby. Football I love. I would literally do football on Friday nights for nothing if I had to.
Wow.
Baseball is it's fun. So spring's a fun time of year. I don't do any hoops,
Oh,
so I take that time of year off.
good thinking.
Yeah.
What about like any girl sports?
I do not. No. It's,
Not work, but like anything that you like to watch at all?
I actually do not watch much sports anymore. Very little NBA,
Okay.
NFL, very little. I like college football.
Okay.
College hoops in the late in the year is fun,
Okay.
and then obviously baseball.
Yep. Okay, I have a trivia question. And this supposedly is medium hard. Medium difficulty. Thank you.
Difficulty. There you
Thank you. I was going to say medium hard. That's the two opposites there. Okay. It says, Okay, so how do I set this up? How is he been setting it up? If you can come over here to Ned Steve and answer this to me, and if you're correct, then I'll give you something. What do we have?
We still actually have
Oh,
a bear that has not been claimed yet.
come on, people. Come on down and answer this.
We need to
Okay,
have somebody win this.
so here's the question. Who was the shortest player ever to play in the NBA? Is it A, Tyrone Bogues? Is that how you say it? Tyrone
Be
Bogues?
Muggsy Bogues. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Alex Abrinas? I'm butchering all these names, but if you understand what I'm saying, please come down. C, is it Greg Grant? Or D, is it, what is it, Manute Bol?
It's not Manute Bol. That
You
doesn't
can't
tell
answer
everybody. Everybody will know that when he was 7'8". So
Okay,
it's not
okay.
Manute Bol.
He's totally giving you guys away some of these
Just
answers.
giving you a clue.
Wow, he totally eliminated a quarter of the answers. So, those three, you tell me, come on down, come on up to me, don't even worry about it, just give me your answer, and if you're right, I'll give you that fancy little teddy bear. Won't that be exciting?
That's a win.
Oh, and I know the answer, so come on down. We'll let you know. In fact, I'll tell you the height. The height of the player, 5'3". And you gotta tell me which one it was. So answers again are Tyrone Bogues,
Bogues.
sorry.
Muggsy Bogues.
Muggsy Bogues. Alex Abrinas, or Abrines, or Greg Grant. Since we know that the other
You can
guy's
put
out.
Manute Bol on there,
Manute
but
Bol.
that one we already know is out.
So it's one of those guys. Come on down and let me know. Because who wouldn't want that cute teddy bear? You could give that as a gift for Christmas in a stocking stuffer.
My
Let me
dog
know.
would have fun with that for about a minute.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a beagle,
Oh,
but he seems to chew things up, so
oh, do those beagles like howl like who?
he does. He does. So Amherst drive stalled here. They're at about the 20 with about a minute left in third quarter. Not sure they're a field goal kicker for that kind of range, but
How many yards?
they're at about the 20, so it'll be about a 40-yard field goal.
If they have a kicker that can make it, sign him up. I think, I don't know, is that too far to kick it?
40 is a good field goal in high school. That's a huge field goal.
Yeah, Jason, where was it? There was a game that we were watching, and it was last year, and I think the kicker missed a 20-yard field goal kick. And so Jason, just to prove a point, said, well, I could do that. And so we went over to the high school, and we lined it up, and he made it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Was
pretty
there anybody
awesome.
on the field with him?
Me. So I did.
Wide open in the end zone and he dropped it.
No, he's
Fourth
so
down.
upset.
That
Wow.
hurts.
Yeah, that does hurt.
He was wide open. There's only 10 yards around. I think you could have caught that one.
I think I could have caught
Yeah.
that.
You can go to parking lot and prove it if you want.
Yeah, right? We have the sticky gloves in the car.
I don't have a ball though.
I don't have a ball either. Oh, what do you think the problem was? Was he not watching it?
They hit him in a bad spot.
Oh,
Right
bad
in the
spot.
hands.
Right in the hands. That's where you're supposed to catch him.
Yeah, that's got to be a touchdown. We'll have to see if that play doesn't come back to haunt him.
Yeah, right? You're supposed to do like this, right? Like your triangle?
I guess at that point you got to catch it, right?
Right. No ifs, ands, or buts. Comes down to crunch time, people. This is the big thing. Gotta catch those balls. So this is high school. So this team here, Lake Country, they don't have like their names on the back of the jerseys. Did they do that at all in high school?
I don't know if there's a rule against it. It just doesn't happen. I'd imagine budgets and
Yeah.
the money it costs, but
Right.
there are certain teams. It's not you can have it. These two teams do not.
Gotcha. It's already an expensive sport. You know what's an expensive sport? Hockey.
Hockey is a very expensive sport. Yeah.
I have a girlfriend that told me that her son got upset, and you know the hockey sticks are really expensive, like at least $100 for a stick sometimes. And he got mad and he broke his stick. There's $100 right there. That's where I would say go get your own stick next
Benny.
time.
Yeah, I have a buddy that his son plays on the Marshfield varsity team,
Okay.
and it is an expensive. It is an expensive sport.
Yeah. Nobody's got time for that. Well, a lot of people have time for that. But it's a very expensive sport. But it's so much fun and rewarding. I used to cheerlead for hockey in high school. I loved it. It was cold, but we had fun.
Did you wear sorrels and parkas, or how do
I
you
know,
cheerlead
right?
for hockey?
I had a turtleneck on under my cheerleading uniform, but no, we didn't get to wear pants. It was just our pantyhose, our skirt, and our skates.
Sounds
And
cool.
I know, and then there was cheers that we would have to go on the ice, and then part of my section of the cheer I would have to slide. So my whole front side would be wet.
Wow.
So what good is that, right?
Not.
I think that was a poor choice on
I think
the
it was.
cheerleading
I'd
captain.
agree with that. It's a big play here. It's third and about 14.
Okay.
Lake Country's on their own end of the field, so
They're trying to get the crowd pumped up, or Amherst is.
that's hard to do at Camp Randall with 90,000 seats and only 5,000 people.
Yeah. Ah,
It's a good effort. You got 10.
yeah, good job.
It's all in the quarter.
That's it, huh?
We're the fourth tide.
Do they just let the clock run out?
They'll let it run out, yes.
Gotcha. And then fourth quarter.
Yep, fourth quarter.
And they're bringing it to another tie all the way to the last quarter of the game. Pretty exciting. I wonder, like, they just got to be so excited to
Yeah,
be
I
there.
think Lake Country's got to be ecstatic at being tied this late in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? If you're gonna go out, you may as well go out at least fighting all the way to the end.
Yeah, you're playing
and have a reason to.
a D5 power, for the last 4 years. I
Yeah.
believe 4, maybe 5 years ago. I think Jason said 5.
I think 5 too.
Where they was to Madison. So
Yep. Amazing.
Jason says you're going on a big trip
We're going out of town.
for you.
I'm so excited. We're going to Florida Keys. I said I'm gonna come back tan. Gonna have to go back into my summertime makeup. It's gonna be beautiful. Can't wait.
Come back, it'll be 20 degrees here.
I know. We don't have anybody set up to remove the snow if snow comes. So I'm like praying no snow comes. But that's okay if it does. We'll figure it out. We're actually out of town for 7 days. Normally when we make trips, it's like, I don't know, a weekend. And then of course we jam pack way too much in that 3-day trip. But this time we're gone for a full 7 days. So I don't know, we're gonna have to find stuff to do.
Were you flying out of Minneapolis?
Minneapolis to Miami. So then we leave on Saturday, and then my daughter has a couple days left of college to finish her before she leaves for break. So then she's flying out on Tuesday. So then we're gonna make Tuesday our Miami day. And
Nice.
we'll just kind of figure out what to do around Miami. I want to see the Everglades because I think that would be cool. Maybe see some alligators.
We'll start the fourth quarter with a punt here. They run a fake.
Ooh.
That
Pulling out all the stops here.
that's gutsy. To run a fake on your own 35, you got to give that coaching staff some credit.
Some credit.
That's ballsy on all levels.
They didn't get there for no
I mean,
reason.
if you don't pick that up, you're giving them the ball at the 35.
Right. So
Well, now they have it at midfield and first down.
tell me what could have gone wrong there.
I mean, you're
they don't-
snapping it to an up guy.
Yeah.
If he mishandles the snap,
Yep.
I mean, it's not your quarterback.
Right.
But I mean, if he gets stopped short of the line of gain, like I said, you're giving Amherst the ball
Yeah.
pretty much with a short field to get the score.
Right. Ooh, ooh. The quarterback almost didn't catch that snap.
Lake Country actually is having the ball bounce their way here today. That right there was a bobbled snap. They just
Yes.
picked up 8 on. So
Well, and a quick acting quarterback caught
Yeah.
that and
Yep.
continued on. So
that could have been disaster.
it could have been. What do you think they were going to do? Run or pass?
That was they were pass blocking, so that was a
Okay.
pass.
So exciting. I hope you guys are at home or watching. Oh, anybody going to come up to me and tell me what my answer is? Again, question was, who was the shortest player ever to play in the NBA? Was it A,
Muggsy Bogues.
Bugsy Bose, Alex Abrinas, which I think it's, or it could be Abrines, or Greg Grant? Show me that gift again that we can give out. So if you,
One of the Zoo Bears.
oh, one of the Zoo Bears from the Muncie Abota Bears from the Wildwood Zoo. Don't you want to come and get this one? He's so good, or fluffy and beautiful and cozy.
Come down and pick it up right before you go to the parade.
Yeah, that's cute. We'll have him sit right here. Should we give him a 50-50? We can eliminate another player off that list.
You can.
Okay, who should we get rid of?
Let's eliminate the guy you can't pronounce his name.
Oh, thank you. Bugsy Bose. Let's
No.
get him off. Oh, Alex Abrinas?
Pick one to eliminate. Eliminate the one you can't pronounce. That'd make
Okay.
it easier.
Yeah, let's get rid of Alex. So now it comes down to Bugsy Bose or Greg Grant. I'm not gonna say. 5'3" though. One of those players is 5'3" in the NBA. Wow, amazing.
5'3" isn't very tall.
It is not very tall. So when your coach tells you you're never gonna make it to the NBA because you're too short, you tell him no. A 5'3" player made it. I can
right.
do it too.
That's right.
You just gotta be really good.
Big play here. It's third down. They're at the 35 going in. Third and about 6.
So what's the temperature there? Did you find
It
out?
was about 25 at kickoff, so
Okay.
that's not bad for this time of year.
Good. Nobody's in long sleeves that I can see, right? Well, there is some like 3/4 length.
Players are never going to wear long sleeves, right?
Right.
Show off the equipment.
Show off their guns. Welcome to the gun show. Coaches wear nice long sleeves and try to stay warm.
Coaches are a little smarter.
Yeah.
A little older. There's
A little
another fourth
wiser.
down. It's fourth and about 3.
Okay.
Huge
they
play
do
in the
it.
game. With 8 minutes left.
Run. I didn't
Not
see
make
where he
it.
landed, but he didn't land, I don't think. Nope.
Well, he's short, so Amherst will take over on downs.
All right.
8 minutes left. We could be staring at some free football.
Wow. When you say free football, what do you mean?
That'd be overtime.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Look at the stands too. It's amazing to me how families or the people that come to watch the game are just so spread out. I would be like, let's all group together and stay warm.
They actually cordon off the majority of the stadium, so you really can't sit at. You can't sit anywhere really pretty much past the 30-yard line on the far end. So
Gotcha.
it pretty much limits
Right.
where you can sit.
So it's nice and cozy here, nice and warm for people who are outdoors, walking up and down the street, looking at the parade. I don't know when the parade starts officially, do you?
I think 6:30.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
Well, it's 6:06 now, so find your seats on the curbs, on the streets, wherever you feel coziest, and then come on in and say hi. Make sure you answer my trivia question, because if you do, then you can win this beautiful bear. say hi to Rich. You can ask him all your questions. Right?
I don't have many answers left.
Oh, I know. You're doing great. Okay, so how many plays on the wristband for the quarterback do you think there are? Like,
Usually have about 30.
oh my goodness. That's a lot. Were they like shorthand? Like
Yeah,
abbreviated?
they'll be abbreviated. Yeah, it's just a lot of teams will just have a number,
Gotcha.
number 1 through 30, and they've been. This is 4 months into the season. They know the plays.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. They don't keep looking down. What about like the hand warmer for the quarterback? Oh, you seeing what's happening here, everybody?
Yeah, this quarterback is amazing. That's a big 30. That's about a 40-yard run.
Wow.
That's going to change the field position.
There you have it.
With 7.5 left, this might be Amherst's last chance to score
Yep, definitely.
in regulation.
Yeah.
This kid's amazing. That's like his 3rd run today where he's just breaking tackles and
Yeah. So all around pretty good player.
yeah, very good.
So he's gonna go to college somewhere.
He hasn't. He has not. Oh, look at this! Look at this run!
Wow.
Wow, he's single-handedly taking him down the field.
He is.
Jason had said earlier that he hadn't declared yet where he was going to play ball. So,
Oh, really?
but of course, anybody that follows Badgers know that there's 2 Amherst players right now on the active roster.
Yeah.
So having a little town in central Wisconsin put 2 guys on the Badgers team is pretty cool.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Good job. They must breed them well there. Hard work.
That's the program. The program is on the upswing, and one of the big advantages about a team that gets rolling and gets to state, they get 4 more weeks practice than a team that gets beat out in the regular season. So the next year, the freshmen and sophomores that are now juniors and seniors,
Yep.
they've had an extra month of practice.
Sure.
Over what the other teams didn't get.
Yeah.
So,
So that's the other question I have is now, like, as these seniors are saying goodbye, do the rest of the team, do they have a strong juniors, sophomores, freshmen that are moving on that are
well,
going to be strong?
one of the upsides of a team that like Amherst that dominates is they get to play the 3rd and 4th quarters of a lot of games and blowouts, and a lot of times that experience is invaluable. It's
Right.
part of the program. Once the program gets on the upper end, all these little perks that come with it, underclassmen getting playing time, extra practice time late in the season,
Right.
experience at Camp Randall. This group of seniors, Amherst, have been to state every season.
Oh,
Just think about that. So their freshman, sophomore, junior, senior years, every one of those years has ended a game in Madison. So
that's pretty
that's
impressive.
pretty impressive.
Especially because then you have, what is it, Lake Country?
The country,
So Lake Country comes in, never been there, right?
no, never been there.
Never been there, and so they're like, they've got the jitters and the nervousness of playing on this big field,
Right.
and so Amherst, who has been there each year, they just shake that off, So gosh, I can't imagine that much more pressure.
And you got to
for
give Lake Country a lot of credit, for hanging this tough this late.
Yep.
It's a tribute to the season you've had.
Yep, definitely. Player number 44 for Lake Country is being helped off the field.
Doesn't look good.
Looks like a left ankle or leg injury.
Yeah? Okay. All right, you're out of here.
Me?
Go eat.
You want me to be done?
I'll just finish eating and then I'm done.
Oh, Rich, am I asking you too many questions?
No, I want you to eat,
Okay.
then I'm leaving. 'Cause
Okay.
You get to spend quality time with Jason.
Oh, I can't wait.
I've had him all day. It's your turn.
All right, I'll eat. Thanks, Rich.